right, welcome everybody to B-Sides TV. I am here this afternoon with electronic artist Caroline, better known as Whipped Cream. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we're very excited to have you here. We've been seeing so much content and music coming from you this year, and I'm very excited to see how you've been putting all this together, especially with this, troubling times that are happening for a lot of people out there. And I first wanted to touch, your debut EP, Who is Whipped Cream, August. It was released just now. How's that going? How was that entire release experience?
It was awesome. I felt really happy to finally put out like a full body of work that kind of showed the world what I am in like a full way and where the direction of the project is going. So it felt really good to like finally get more than just like a single out that showcased kind of what I am and like what I'm about.
Yeah, we were definitely able to see a lot of different stories, a lot of different sounds that maybe your followers weren't really used to. Why did you decide? I also knew you were having a huge 2020 was supposed to be your big tour date. How did you decide on making this your year? How did you decide to finally introduce yourself and, bring together everything you've been doing for the past couple of years into like a single project and also sort of like a single bang for, for your different audiences?
Yeah, well, I just really wanted to stay true to like what I came up on and like what I was raised on and kind of bring like the underground sound to like a mainstream sound and start collaborating with actual artists. So bringing them into studios and just like making records that actually have vocals on them. The goal for the project is obviously to spread the seed to as many people as possible. And I really think that, you can touch so many people with just an instrumental, but it just takes things to more of like a global level when you can introduce an artist onto a record. And like eventually I'd love to have music on the radio and etc. But I think this is the perfect introduction to the potential of like Whipped Cream as an artist, and there's some electronic songs on the project, and then there's just straight up, hip hop songs and even like a pop song. So really, Whipped Cream is really whatever because it's just production at the end of the day, right?
Let's go back to one of your other songs that was recently won an AMA. Well, the soundtrack did. That was the 2020 Birds of Prey soundtrack. That was announced, I believe, a week ago. Congratulations on that. I think that this was your first soundtrack, right? Your first project on a soundtrack.
Yeah, I think so.
And
Sure.
A, did you like this movie? And B, do you plan on working on any other soundtracks?
Yeah, I liked the movie. I thought it was super cool and really badass. All the women actresses and how I thought the story was great. I thought the actresses killed their roles, and I was really grateful to be a part of that soundtrack just for the message, period. And to answer your second question, 100%, like, you go through my hard drive right now and I'd say like 70% of my music is made for movies. Honestly, I really get inspired by movies, and I get my most joy out of making movie music, I think, which is crazy.
One of my favorite artists that has albums that are also very thematic, Nero. I love how everything just kind of connects and tells a story. Do you see yourself, maybe putting, because you said there were soundtracks and then there was your different kind of music. Do you ever see yourself putting together something together that puts all these, that unites these two concepts?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And I think you can kind of hear that in some of the music. Like if you listen to us on the project, or you listen to You Wanted It, which was a single that came out 2 years ago, those are like two songs that I really, to my core, are me in full. Like you can take anything out that or put anything in they're just me. Like those are the two songs that I just absolutely love. And down the road, I would really, really like to incorporate and somehow invent a sound that brings cinematic sounds to the mainstream world and then brings in artists I think people like Travis Scott, and I think people like The Weeknd, and even some of Drake's songs are kind of doing that right now, which is really cool. But for me, that's like the main goal, is to one day be able to do that at a very high level. But that's gonna be it's gonna be like walking up a ladder and just like building properly in order to make that such a mainstream sound, because it simply hasn't been done before.
I remember when I saw you, I think it was 2 years ago, and I wasn't familiar with your music yet, and I just ran into the crowd, and I think it was one of the best sets of that festival, not trying to be extra nice. But I also know you have a very similar relationship with festivals, that you went to your first festival and you kind of fell in love with the music and the environment of being so close to all these strange people that are kind of happy and together. When you're up on stage, you're performing, what is the kind of environment, what do you like to see in the crowd when you're just there blasting your everything that you want to bring together, the way you want to bring people together?
Yeah, there's like, for me, like there's no better feeling that equals to that for me in life ever. Like, having a really, really great opportunity to play a show to a lot of different energies, and just like sharing the energy is like, there's no, I can't even put it into words what that's like for me. I have so much fun playing to different crowds, because I never prepare. I prepare sets always. I'm not crazy DJ that's like in the Starbucks 15 minutes before I'm supposed to play EDC at 4 a.m. because I'm overthinking everything. I really, really, really care and put a lot of detail into everything I do, and I sometimes overthink before I perform. However, when I'm up on stage and I press play, everything goes out the window. Everything's fine. There's like no worries. And then what I do is everything that I've just planned for the last 2 months for EDC or whatever goes out the window, and I'm just vibing with the crowd and I'm playing whatever, almost every huge set that I go into, even at club shows, I have my certain transitions I really like. I have my certain records that I'll play every set. But for the most part, not one show is exactly the same to the other. Never has been, never will be, because every energy in every single city is different. So for me, it's really exciting because it's also new for me every time I get to play, because there's all sorts of different people in the crowd. So yeah.
What's the strangest city you remember going to?
The strangest city, like in per se,
You've got the most interesting, different crowd.
I think New Orleans was very wonderful, very music based and very loving, and just like a really, really heavy, different energy. Like, I really, really love performing there. Every place is different, like, New Mexico, Atlanta, everything is unique to me, and honestly, everything is equal for me too. There's nothing better or worse. Every time I play, it's just honestly a blessing for me. So if there's people there, then we're good.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We're definitely looking forward to everything you do. I see a lot of positivity in your future, especially, with all the creativity that's coming. Even now, we're doing 2020, which most people are kind of scared about. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with us at B-Sides. We hope to see you around.
Yeah, totally. Thanks for having me. It was good to talk.